Hello everybody, I'm back. It's been a long time since I did a video. I apologize for that. Just been really busy with my life. But here we go. UFC 144 in Japan. First time they've been there since 2000 of December. All right, let's get going. The first fight of the night is Anthony Pettis and Joe Lozon. This is going to be my fight of the night. I'm predicting that it's going to be fight of the night because you have two explosive fighters that like to bang. Anthony Pettis is a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu purple belt, third degree black belt Taekwondo, and his one is 2 of 3. His most recent loss was against Clay Guida in a title eliminator for him. Joe Lozon also won his last 2 of 3. But here's an interesting fact about Joe Lozon. In his 11 fights in the UFC, he's won 7 of the night awards, whether it be submission or fight of the night. He's a purple belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu as well. So I'm going to give my slight edge to Anthony Pettis just because he's got unorthodox kicking off the cage. He proved that against Benson Henderson, who's actually fighting in the main event for the title tonight. For tomorrow night. Hatsu Hioki versus Bart Palazwinski. I'm going to go with the hometown with Hioki. I think he just has a better chance being at home. The Japanese fans are explosive over there, so I'm going to go with Hioki. Yushin Okami and Tim Bostek. Again, I'm going to go with the home crowd. The home crowd really gets you fired up, and he's going to have his home crowd in his favor. Yoshihiro Akiyama and Jake Shields. Akiyama has lost his last 3 fights, that being of Belfort by KO, Bisping by decision, and Lieben by submission. On the other hand, Jake Shields has also lost 2 of his last 3. One being Jake Ellenberger, which after the 3 weeks before the fight, his dad passed away. So I think that was a mental breakdown for him, even though he tried not to let that get into his way. But that's the first fight he's ever fought without his dad in his corner. So he had a little mental problem with that. He lost to GSP in a close fight decision loss. And then Martin Kampmann in a split decision win. I'm going to give my edge to Jake Shields. He's the more seasoned fighter. You think that Akiyama being in his hometown, he's going to have his advantage. But he does have the home field advantage. But Jake Shields is already used to not being liked. So, because he always fought worldwide and not a lot of people liked him because he was an American. But now that he's fighting the UFC, he's going to get his head straight now that he's past the grieving point of his father passing away. So I'm going to give my edge to Jake Shields. Mark Hunt versus Czech Congo. Mark Hunt's last 3 were Ben Rothwell, victory. Chris Tuchisher, a victory. And then a loss to Sean McClark. Czech Congo, on the other hand, he's got a win over Matt Mitrione, a win over Pat Barry, which was the fight of the night, fight of the year, knockout of the year, epic comeback, you name it, that's what it was. And then he had a draw to Travis Brown, which could have been a win had he not grabbed the shorts of Travis Brown. In this fight, I'm going to go with, believe it or not, Mark Hunt. He is Australian, however, he fought in Pride, so he's got the Pride fan base of these fights. So I'm going to give my edge to Mark Hunt since it is a hometown for him. Quentin Rampage Jackson and Ryan Darth Bader. Okay. Jackson's last 3 was John Jones. He's lost by submission. Matt Hamill by decision and Lyoto Machida by a split decision, which in my eyes, he lost that fight. Lyoto Machida was the one who took it to him, but let's not get to that. This is about Ryan Bader and Quentin Jackson. Okay, Ryan Bader's last 3. He won in KO fashion of Jason Brills. He lost to Tito Ortiz and he lost to John Jones, who John Jones is the champ, so no explanation for that one. Okay, Quentin Rampage Jackson has a boxing background, whereas Ryan Bader has a wrestling background, and he's heavy-handed. I'm going to give my edge to Ryan Bader. Granted, Rampage has the background of being in Pride, being a hero over in Pride, having relationships with the Pride fans. I'm still giving my edge to Ryan Bader because Quentin Rampage Jackson has had a tough time with wrestlers. And Ryan Bader is a wrestler. He's an elite wrestler. So I'm giving my edge to Ryan Bader. Frankie Edgar, Henderson. I haven't even decided who I want. On my note cards is like, as you can see, I usually circle one and there's nothing circled. So I'm gonna do this one on the fly. Okay, I'm gonna go with the last 4 fights for Frankie Edgar, just to give you a gist of who he's fought. He's fought 2 people in his last 4 fights. He fought Gray Maynard twice and BJ Penn twice. In my opinion, Frankie Edgar won both times against Gray Maynard, and he proved it in the third fight of Gray Maynard. So he won. He beat Gray Maynard by knockout in the 4th round. He got a decision draw to Gray Maynard in their second fight. BJ Penn whooped his ass twice. Ben Henderson, on the other hand, in his last 3, he beat Clay Guida, Jim Miller, and Mark Bocek. All 3 by unanimous decision. His most recent loss was against Anthony Pettis when he was fighting for the WEC lightweight title, or he was defending the WEC lightweight title and lost it to Anthony Pettis, who's also fighting on this fight card. Frankie Edgar's got a brown belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He's a Muay Thai. He's a boxer. He's a wrestler, and he's got speed on his side. Because Frankie Edgar, he's a very, very small lightweight. He could very easily be fighting at flyweight or bantamweight, but he chooses not to. He chooses to keep his cardio. He doesn't want to deplete his body, and ultimately he will have to either move down in weight to fight more competition if he keeps on his winning ways, or he'll just stick at the lightweight and just dominate the lightweight division. Right now, Ben Henderson has a brown belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He's a black belt in Taekwondo, and he's a wrestler. He also has a size advantage over Frankie Edgar. He is a huge lightweight. He walks around at 170 and cuts down to 155 to make weight to fight at the lightweight division. He does have a size advantage, and he also is a southpaw. But tell you the truth, I don't know who I'm going to fight. Let's go to the tail of the tape. Frankie Edgar, 30 years old. 5'6", 154. He's got a reach of 68. Ben Henderson, on the other hand, 28, 5'9", 155 with a 70-inch reach. Just by Frankie Edgar's eliteness, I'm going to choose Frankie Edgar. He's beaten Gray Maynard. He's beaten BJ Penn. He's beaten Sean Shirk. He's beaten elite top flight competition, whereas Ben Henderson has not gotten to that top elite competition. In both of these fighters, this is going to be, if not the first fight of the night, which is Anthony Pettis and Joe Lauzon. If this one is not if Joe Lauzon and Anthony Pettis is not the fight of the night, this right here is going to be fight of the night and possibly fight of the year again. For Frankie Edgar to have fight of the year in 2 years running, that says a lot to a fighter who is he's not afraid. He's the small kid on the block that will take out the biggest dog in the park. So, you know what, I hope you guys like my video, and I kind of made some bold predictions in these fights. And I want to see what you guys think. I really appreciate this. Watch the weigh-ins tonight. I'm not sure what time they are because they're going to be in Japan, but they are today. So watch the weigh-ins today, see what happens. I'll be watching the weigh-ins. So thank you very much, guys, and enjoy the fights this weekend.